Let me start with a brutal question. Are you actually in love, or are you just terrified of being alone? Sit with that for a second. Most people aren't in relationships because they're strong, whole, or overflowing with love. No, they're in relationships because they're scared of facing themselves. They'd rather deal with someone else's chaos than sit in silence with their own. They call it romance, but it's really just fear dressed up in perfume. The Stoics warned us centuries ago, the chains we choose for ourselves are the hardest to break. And the chains that destroy men the fastest, they almost always come wrapped as comfort, stability, or love. But here's the reality. When you can't stand being single, you stop really living. You sell your soul for company. You start negotiating your freedom away just to keep someone next to you in bed. And you call that a life? No, that's slow suicide. This isn't an anti-love message. It's not about swearing off women forever. It's about reclaiming your power. Because only a man who can stand alone is truly capable of choosing love freely. Everyone else is just addicted. So let's break it down. I'll show you why staying single isn't just okay. It's the best thing you can do, mentally, spiritually, and as a man walking the path of Stoicism. 1. Staying single protects you from wrong attachments. Here's a story. A man I knew, let's call him Daniel, was a beast in his 20s. Fit, ambitious, disciplined. Then he met a woman who looked like everything he wanted. Beautiful, charming, wild. Within 2 years, he wasn't training anymore. Within 3 years, his savings were gone. Within 5, he was fat, broke, and bitter, and she left anyway. He didn't lose to life. He lost to the wrong attachment. That's how fast the wrong person can ruin you. It doesn't take a villain to derail your life, just someone whose chaos mixes with your weakness. And when you're desperate for connection, you'll ignore the red flags. You'll excuse the lies. You'll sell pieces of yourself just to keep her close. Staying single shields you from this trap. The Stoics believed the highest good was freedom. Freedom from being controlled by desire. Freedom from being chained to people who don't serve your path. Singleness makes you sharper. You see people clearly. You're not blinded by need. You can filter out fakes and manipulators before they ever sink their hooks into you. Remember this, it's better to be alone than to be chained to the wrong person. 2. Time becomes your weapon. According to Seneca, life is long enough if we use it wisely, but we make it short by wasting it. Relationships are the easiest way to waste your life. How many men lose years to arguments, manipulation, fake peace, and the endless negotiation of time? Being single means your hours belong fully to you. You wake when you want. You grind when you want. You can take a midnight run or book a one-way ticket without checking with anyone. That's real freedom, the kind most people never taste because they sold it away for security. And here's the thing, time compounds. 1 year of focused, single-minded work can put you a decade ahead of the man who spends his time in emotional tug-of-war. Staying single is how you bank your future. 3. Solitude is training. Most men fear silence. That's why they scroll endlessly, chase validation, or jump into relationships that drain them. But solitude isn't punishment. It's the gym for your soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." When you're single, you're forced to face yourself. No distractions, no emotional roller coasters, no one to blame. Just you, your fears, your discipline, or your lack of it. At first it's uncomfortable, but that's exactly why it makes you strong. Solitude forces you to become your own motivator, your own comforter, your own savior. And once you've been through that training ground, you become unshakable. No breakup, no ghosting, no absence can break you, because you've already proven you can stand alone. That's emotional steel most men never develop. 4. Protecting your energy is everything. Let's be honest, toxic relationships are spiritual cancer. They drain your peace, poison your thoughts, and shatter your focus. You start living in constant anxiety, checking your phone, defending yourself in arguments, cleaning up emotional messes that were never yours. That's not love, that's slavery. Staying single lets you guard your energy like a warrior guarding his flame. No more chaos bleeding into your mornings. No more nights wasted in fights that go nowhere. Just clarity, just peace, just the clean fuel to build the life you actually want. And once you've felt that peace, you'll never tolerate chaos again. 5. You master yourself. According to Epictetus, you aren't truly free unless you have control over yourself. Self-mastery is impossible when you're constantly distracted by someone else's moods, problems, and demands. Most men pour their best energy into keeping someone else happy instead of sharpening their own blade. But when you're single, you have no excuse. Your body becomes your responsibility. Your mind becomes your battlefield. Your life becomes your training ground. You can build discipline without interference. You can wake early, train hard, study, write, build wealth without compromise. Every ounce of energy fuels you, not someone else's drama, and that's when you grow fastest. Discipline compounds. Small wins become unstoppable momentum. Singleness is boot camp for mastery, and only mastered men conquer life. 6. You stop chasing validation. Here's one of the ugliest traps: living for approval. Most men in relationships don't even notice when it starts. They adjust their words, their goals, even their identity around what the other person thinks. Before long, they're not living their own lives. They're performing for someone else's approval. Validation is addictive. It keeps you weak, and the more you depend on it, the less you remember your own value. But singleness forces you to cut that cord. It teaches you to find validation in yourself, to look in the mirror and know you're enough without applause. And here's the paradox. Once you stop chasing validation, you actually become more attractive. Independence is magnetic. Strength is magnetic. People respect the man who doesn't beg for approval. 7. You can pursue your mission with obsession. Every man has a mission, but most never reach it because they sell it for comfort. They spend more time managing emotions than building their purpose. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's true delight is to do the things he was made for." But missions require obsession. They require sacrifice, focus, and long seasons where you choose work over comfort. That's nearly impossible if you're stuck constantly negotiating with someone who doesn't share your vision. When you're single, you're free to throw yourself into your mission without apology. Work late, grind on weekends, travel, build. No one can call you obsessed. No one can guilt trip you for chasing greatness. That's why so many legends, athletes, artists, warriors spent long stretches of their life single. They gave their best years to the mission. That's not selfish, that's purpose. 8. Freedom makes love real. Now let's bring this full circle. The Stoics never said love was bad. They warned against need, because love that comes from fear isn't love, it's desperation. If you can't stand being single, you'll always settle. You'll tolerate disrespect. You'll cling to the wrong person. You'll trade your freedom for scraps of attention. But if you master yourself in solitude, something powerful happens. When you choose to love, it's a choice, not a need. You come from strength, not weakness. You can walk away at any time, and that's the only foundation real love can stand on: freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't fear death. Fear never beginning to live. Living starts when you stand alone, when you're no longer running from silence, when you belong fully to yourself. Only then can you build a life or a love that's real." The Stoic verdict: staying single isn't punishment, it's power. It protects you from toxic attachments. It gives you full control of your time. It forges you in solitude. It sharpens your discipline. It kills your need for validation, and it clears the path for your mission. Most men waste their lives chained to people who drain them, simply because they're too afraid of being alone. Don't be one of them. Use your singleness as a weapon. Forge yourself into something dangerous, disciplined, and untouchable. Because once you've mastered yourself alone, no one, not even life itself, can ever truly own you again. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.